Extreme Foolishness TV. This is where I talk about extreme foolishness around you. Today, I'll be talking to you guys about an extremely foolish lawyer. That is Kevin Gough, the lawyer who defended Roddie Bryan in the Ahmaud Arbery trial. The three defendants were sentenced to life in prison. Two of the defendants, Gregory and Travis McMichael, were sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Roddie Bryan, on the other hand, was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole. But before the judge handed down his sentences, the lawyers made an argument. But one person stood out as an extreme fool, and that is Kevin Gough. He first of all made an argument that sentencing his client, Mr. Bryan, to life in prison with or without the possibility of parole is cruel and unusual punishment because Mr. Bryan did not kill, intend to kill, or attempt to kill. He cited the case law, which did not even apply in the case. The case law he cited was whether or not it was cruel or unusual to sentence somebody to the death penalty, not whether life without the possibility of the parole or life in prison. But anyway, he still had a little bit of an argument there. But the extremely foolish argument that he made was when he stood in open court and said he got help from a jailhouse lawyer, another inmate in Michigan, that inmate was kind enough to help him write a brief. I was like, whoa, where do they make these extreme fools at? Let me play the video. Seeing is believing, people, because you guys will think I'm capping.
Mr. Gough. Our third and last formal written motion is a motion to vacate the illegal felony murder convictions based on double jeopardy. And I don't want to be accused of plagiarizing. An inmate apparently from the Michigan criminal prison system, Mr. Cyrus, was kind enough to draft a motion for me to file.
People, he said he got a brief from the Michigan prison system, an inmate from the Michigan prison system, Mr. Cyrus. He said Mr. Cyrus was kind enough to draft the brief for him to file. This is extreme foolishness, people. This is a lawyer in court. I have never seen this in my entire life. Saying, judge, while his client may be facing life in prison with or without parole, he said, I got a brief from an inmate in the Michigan prison system by the name of Mr. Cyrus, and the inmate was kind enough to draft the brief for him to file. People, you cannot make this stuff up. This is scary. Let's keep listening.
And even went out and found Georgia case law. Your Honor, I have to confess it doesn't quite reconcile with my memory of all of the Georgia case law.
He said he could not find any Georgia case law that supports the argument in the brief that was drafted by Mr. Cyrus. This lawyer even said the arguments there does not reconcile with his knowledge on Georgia case law. But he still filed the brief. He still took the brief and gave credit to Mr. Cyrus. He still took the brief and is about to read and make arguments from the brief, people. This is extreme foolishness.
Argument's pretty good. Mr. Bryan was acquitted of count 2 felony.
Look at the judge's face, people. Look at the judge's face. The judge is laughing and saying this is some extreme foolishness. He said that Kevin Gough, the lawyer, said the argument is pretty good. And the judge is like, what the extreme foolishness is going on here?
There is only one felony murder statute. And therefore, once you've been acquitted of felony murder in count 2, double jeopardy bars conviction under counts 3, 4, and 5. The argument being that they're all different different ways to commit the same offense. And we believe that under the authorities, which are not just
The judge is just laughing.
federal authorities, including Sanabria v. U.S.,
The judge keeps laughing.
That the court should find that double jeopardy bars imposition of sentence.
Judge keeps
under
laughing.
counts 3, 4, and 5.
Again, there's no case law that I've cited here. The argument he's making is that because Mr. Bryan was acquitted on one felony murder count, that double jeopardy bars the other felony murder convictions, even though they arose out of the same offense, and that all the other convictions of felony murder are barred by double jeopardy, and he should be set free. Where they do that at, people? There are different underlying felonies that could be used to support a felony murder conviction. The jury may decide not to convict on one felony, but decide to convict somebody for felony murder based on other felonies. Here, the underlying felony under which Mr. Bryan was convicted is false imprisonment. That's the underlying felony, and he could be convicted on that, even though he may have been acquitted on another felony murder for maybe shooting somebody with a shotgun. But that doesn't mean he gets to walk. There's no Georgia case law that supports that. That's why the judge is laughing. And this guy's making an extremely foolish argument by an inmate from the Michigan prison system. People, this is extreme foolishness. Be careful what kind of lawyer you give your money to. Let's see what else he has to say before I shut this show down.
Independent of that,
The judge is still laughing.
we also have an issue with respect to.
You know what? Let me shut it down here, people. Bottom line, if you're a lawyer, don't get a brief from an inmate or a jailhouse lawyer. And even if you're going to get a brief from an inmate or a jailhouse lawyer, do your research. Make sure there's case law that supports it. And if there's nothing, don't come to the podium and embarrass yourself. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the sentences were appropriate? The sentences of life without parole for Gregory and Travis McMichael? Do you think the judge was right in giving a sentence of life with the possibility of parole for Mr. Roddie Bryan? Because, he was the least culpable party of the three. So I think that was okay. The life sentences were okay too. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell so that anytime I drop some extreme foolishness videos, you will be in the know. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, thank you once again for watching. Peace be unto you. Stay safe out there. And most importantly, say no to extreme foolishness.